Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta jana kalyane niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vidvaram. Om partaya pradibodhitam bhagavata narayanena swayam vyasena gratitam purana munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapada Kramopanishadaihi Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyantiyam Yogino Yasyantam Navidusura Devaya tasmai namaha. Devaya tasmai namaha. Happy New Year to all of you. Every new year begins with a hope. Hope to become better. What is the very basis of any hope? Basis of every hope is belief. That I would be better, I can do this, I can achieve this and accomplish this. If that belief is not there, there cannot be any hope. When there is no hope, there is no attempt. When there is no attempt, there is no progress. When there is no progress, then it is congress. Sorry. Then it is no progress means then there is stalemate, or what you call status quo. And we are stuck. So any attempt that we do is about a possibility. In this particular chapter, Bhagavan Krishna, this is the penultimate chapter. Chapter 18 will be the final wisdom of Bhagavad Gita that would be imparted by Bhagavan Krishna. And before that, he says that you must have faith. We'll see in today's talk what it means. Next. Only once you touch. The topic is religion, relationship, and reality. Three things that we cannot avoid to become better. Religion does not mean ritual. Religion means a certain set of beliefs. He religiously did that. Meaning what? Not necessarily he belongs to any particular religion, but he, with great belief, faith, he or she did that. I'm religiously following something. Doesn't mean you are actually belong to any religion. But usually in this particular chapter, Bhagavan is going to answer what it means to be religiously believing, or what is religious belief. Next. Belief, trust, and faith. Broadly classifying, when it comes to religion, it's a question of set of things that we believe to be so. And when it comes to relationship, also we need to have certain kind of belief. Every relationship is built on a hope that that person is important to me in my life, or this person will make sense if I have him or her in my life. And therefore it is trust. But when it comes to reality, philosophy, it is faith. We'll come to see what it means individually. Now, first, let us take belief. I'm sure when you all have grown up and you are young, your parents and the people around you have imparted certain things in your mind. This needs to be done in this way. If you do this, this will happen. Study well, you will be better. Before going to school or before going out, do some prayers. Before you sleep, remember God. All our religious festivals are built on this belief system. In Sanskrit, it is known as Madam, meaning opinion. Belief is nothing but a set of opinions. So under belief, it's based on tradition, religion, and culture. Some people may not have any particular religion to follow, but they follow certain things which the family has been doing. I'm sure when you're growing up, you never knew what actually it is to do certain mantras or say certain mantras, but your parents have said, they do this. Morning you do this. You have done mechanically. I have done also. Why, if you ask, they say, that is our tradition. My mother did, my grandmother did, and I did it, you do it. That is what is tradition. Or everybody in the society in which we are living doing, therefore you do it. Culture. Samskriti, it's called. So based upon religion, or it can be tradition, or it can be culture. They are all so intermingled or intertwined, connected. In Hindu society, you cannot differentiate them. It was Mahatma Gandhi, when he was asked this question by somebody, what do you think about American culture? He smiled and said, I wish they had one. Because Coke, pizza, it's not culture. Culture is what is handed down by the previous generation for us to follow and improve on. We improve on drinking Coke. New things are coming up now. Drugs. That is not culture. The way of living is not culture. What you believe that will help you to improve, even though you do not know why you're doing or how it all started. Do Surya Namaskar facing the sun, the 12 steps. And what will happen? Your physical body will become energized, you become flexible, etc. But unless you do it, you will never be able to experience it. So in the beginning of any progress, there is certain amount of belief necessary. You cannot avoid it. It's untested but followed based upon collective acceptance. And if it had not been a useful, progressive one, it would have died long time back. People followed and not got any result out of it, then after some time it will lose its value. So one must have the basic belief in what is handed down as tradition or as culture or religious belief. If you go to any temple in India, most of the temples are so crowded. Not that people have become more faithful to God, fear of God. No, they are afraid of the unpredictabilities of life. What will happen tomorrow? Will I be able to do this? Will I be okay tomorrow? Especially after COVID. So there is certain amount of unpredictability in life. And so to overcome that unpredictability, they have to hold on to something. Science might have failed. And it had happened. Science has tried its best to save the people, but could not. Then you have to go to something which you think that may help. And your parents have said, or elders have said, do this. And in India, for COVID, there are 1,000 different kind of homemade medicines. Everybody has one medicine. This you put, this booty you put, this herb you put. My uncle got saved. Everybody drinks that also. So what is that? Belief. Why? I'm not sure. Not sure about tomorrow. So unpredictability of life also forces an individual to follow belief. It is untested, but you have a hope that, yes, this will work. Most of the religious beliefs are based upon this. It will work. Let me try. And when a mass of people, when they continue to do that, it takes a momentum. Vaikunta Ekadashi. You must see all the Vishnu temples. So crowded. Why? Other days Vishnu is not there or what? No, on that day only, there is a door opens for heaven. They usually, in most of the Vishnu temple, there is a door which never opened. Only on that day they open. I believe. So if you see, most people who call themselves religious are following certain beliefs. Mainly depending upon sentiments and emotions. Oh, my mother used to practice this or say this mantra every day morning 100 times. Therefore, I also do that. And if a person, like your mother or father who had done it and is lived miserably, then you would not have. In spite of all doing that, what did he do? He was so miserable only. Then you have a doubt. Should I follow? So there is a positive observance. Based upon that observance, you are able to believe that this will work. When you go to a doctor also, based upon belief only, right? This doctor has cured so many people, so therefore I will go there. That is also belief. So most of us have been taught to believe certain things, and that had helped us to build up our hope. And with the hope alone, we can move forward. And therefore, first and foremost thing is that we should understand belief is a chance that you take. Okay, now comes the next one, is called trust. Trust is not a chance. It is based upon known factors and proven theories. In today's world, if you tell your children to follow certain religion or certain beliefs, certain tradition, certain culture, immediately they ask question, why? This is called generation Y. WHY. Why should I? Why should I follow? What is the proof? Show me the proof. So-called scientific proof I need. Even the following the medicine or taking up medicines which are not allopathic, and whether it's Ayurvedic, homeopathy, and all that. You may probably do that, but your children won't. Why? There's no proof. So, science is able to provide facts. And thus the generation of people who follow those things for which they have a scientific proof. It is tested in a laboratory and it is proven and papers have been presented. Scientific world have accepted, therefore it is true. When it comes to this, believing certain things, you wanted proof. Therefore, that is called trust. And when it comes to human relationship also, nowadays, I was just recently there in India, and then I asked somebody, why are you not getting married? Swamiji, I can't trust anybody. So I asked her, how do you begin it? How do you know you can't trust anybody? If you have believed in somebody and moved on, and then somebody became not trustworthy and you failed, one person, you cannot say that is applicable to all. Swamiji, you mean to say that I go on experimenting with everybody? So, relationship based upon set of experiences that are positive. Not all experiences need to be positive. You will not find an ideal person, I told her. You will not find it. There are certain things that you may think that that person should have, may not have. Or may have, may lose it also. Or may not have, you gain it later also. So you must move ahead with your relationship with the belief that this person may improve. One lady went to an astrologer and gave the horoscope. This is my husband's horoscope. Tell me about this. So that person said, oh, he will do this, he will do that. She said, tell me about only his past. Future, I will decide. So you trust this person is of this characteristic. He or she will improve in this way. So based upon available facts, science is always about hypothesis. Based upon available facts alone, the science can proceed on trusting that this will happen. If there is no hypothesis at all, you cannot engage, you cannot move on to a possibility. How do you know that you can land in moon? We'll try. We have all the possible precautions we have taken. First, let us send the monkey. If it comes back, then we'll go. That's what they did. Our ancestors we sent first, making sure that they are alive, then we will go. So, therefore, followed, though not personally experienced. And most of this is depending upon reasoning and rationality. But unfortunately, when it comes to human relationship, you cannot trust a person only based upon reasoning and rationality. Because every individual thinks differently. Every individual behaves and acts differently. So you must have the trust that, yes, he has a good intention or good values in place for that person to behave in this way. When I was there in Bombay with Swami Tejomananda, one person asked this question. Swamiji, I have taken a New Year resolution. What is that? That I won't complain about anything in my life, at least this year. I would not complain. I will avoid complaining. So Guruji smiled and said, never take a negative resolution. I will not do this. I will not do that. No. Take a positive stand. Like what? I will see goodness in everybody. So whenever you take a negative, your mind becomes negative. Assertion is about positive things. I will see goodness in everyone. That will be it amounts to the same. That means I will not see what is negative in others. Only negative observation only will make you complain about some things. May I have a positive attitude towards everyone, that everybody is doing the right thing and good with a good intention, then I have nothing to complain. So this is also a kind of hope, but based upon certain thinking, not blindly following, I was told to do so. I know the reason, I have facts, I have certain statistics available. Based upon that, may I proceed. This is called trust. We trust in science. We trust in the facts provided by the science. We trust in the goodness of others based upon our observation of how that person is, right? You cannot blindly get into a relationship. This is about trust. The third one is called faith. That is our main topic now. Faith is based upon your source. From where it is coming from. It is no doubt certain amount of belief and certain amount of trust. But faith is always about the unknown. You have no clue about what it is. No information available, not easily visible, not comprehensible, but the person from which this information comes, you have trust in the source. Bhagavad Gita, it is said that it was a set of conversations that took place between Arjuna and Krishna. Why should Arjuna listen to Krishna? Why did he at all ask that question to him? Please tell me what is good. Why? Because he believed that Krishna can teach me. He had the reverence, the respect for the source. So too, when you send your child to school, and the teacher there who is going to teach, you may not know who that person is. You have never seen him maybe, or her maybe. But the school has certain stand in the society. So therefore, the teacher will have certain amount of, credibility, qualification. And unless the student have the attitude of reverence towards that knowledge as well as the teacher, the knowledge will not get transferred. In the past, when the students lived with the Guru, it's because they can observe the way the Guru lives, how he or she meets the circumstances of life. And based upon that, he understands the maturity of that person. And based upon the maturity of the person, the reverence is built. And once the reverence is there, respect is there, the knowledge can easily be inculcated. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna also said, Tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. Go to the Guru, fall at his feet and learn by asking questions and doing seva. He did it. Krishna himself did that to his Guru Sandipani. So faith is about the unknown. The known not necessarily will be able to help you to understand the unknown. For in this path of spirituality, the unknown has no relationship with the known. It is not a product of the known. The unknown, in this unknown, is not related to anything. And therefore, based upon this, you cannot assume that it is there. Even though that is how it proceeds. For us, as we go by the scientific rationality, etc., the explanations are given. For example, if you look at a tree, beautiful leaves and flowers and fruits and branches, you see that. But if I say that there is life in this tree, do you see it? Do you see life? Do you see life in a tree? Do you see life in a person? You see the expression which perhaps would indicate that there is life. If there are new leaves are coming, if there is a tree that is there and during the winter there are no leaves at all, and it may look like barren, dead, and suddenly on a springtime, one leaf, it's alive. Now, based upon what is known, what is seen, what is perceived, but that does not necessarily have to have a direct relationship with that life. So, when it comes to faith, it is about the unknown, but the unknown not necessarily is confirmed by the known. Even if the known factors are not there, unknown will continue to be there. If a person is lying down, sleeping, whether he is sleeping or dead, how do you? You put your hand next to him, or put to the pulse, go to the pulse. He is alive. So that indicates that person is alive. If that is also not there, there are places, there are coma or whatever it is, they say, person would not respond to anything. Artificially, you may have to put the breathing also. But they say, he is alive. How is that? So the subject matter here Krishna brings in is that you must have faith in the source. Tasma, therefore he says, Tasma Shastram Pramanam. Unknown but subject to personal experience. So when the Person who believes in the words of the scriptures or the teacher proceeds on. He doesn't merely believes or hopes or trusts, he experiments in his own life and finds the truth of it, and thereafter there is no question of doubt. Bhagavan Krishna says, Samshayatma vinashyati. A man of doubt perishes. In this particular parlance, subject matter, if one does not have faith, one cannot move further. Depending on the depth of understanding and surrender. One must completely have a total attitude of surrender, sharanagati, and then take up the path to proceed. And that will help the person to discover what was originally unknown as one's own being. If I ask you, you are there or not, you say, I am. Is it because that you are physically there, therefore you say I am? Or you are mentally there, therefore you are saying, I am? Your response does not mean by itself that you are there. Even if you are not responding, even if you are sleeping, even when you are physically not aware of yourself, you are. I am. So your own presence, when it is not even connected to any of the physical or mental or emotional personality, you still are there. This cannot be proved otherwise, unless otherwise you experiment yourself. This is what the attempt in the seat of meditation, that my presence is not necessarily proved because I'm physically present here, or mentally present here, or emotionally present here. No, I am present despite all of this. That is what is known as a true realization. And that alone can make one understand the immortal nature of the reality. Otherwise, it is mortally connected. Physically, I am there, therefore I am. Emotionally, mentally, I am aware, therefore I am. In that way, it is only a mortal presence. An immortal presence is despite everything. That is the reason why the teacher takes a lot of time to explain this to the student and independently inquire it and go there. Thereafter, the guru would not expect the student to hang on to him. Do not just believe because I'm saying so. Do it yourself and find out. And once you find out, you don't need me. So, this is why the difference between belief, trust, and faith. Belief is based upon tradition, culture, what is handed down to you. You blindly may follow because it is something which helps you to grow. Trust is based upon rationality, reason, statistics, facts. And most of the scientific or human relationship is based upon trust. Whereas faith is not necessarily based upon tradition, not because of the statistics or facts available. It is because you are, and the source must be completely respected. And once you respect the source of knowledge and proceed on, you would come to experience out of your own experimentation. That is the reason why Bhagavan Krishna had to speak so much to convince Arjuna. Has he not shown himself as a a cosmic form? Even then, Arjuna had questions. I saw you, but I want to know more. Why? Is it not sufficient? I am, Bhagavan Krishna showed him, I am Bhagavan. So, you are Bhagavan, all right. What about me? See, this is a very interesting point. We all have the great reverence for Bhagavan, etc. But that by itself does not change me. For me to change, I must find Bhagavan in me. Worshipping is all right. I can go and surrender all that. But then when it comes to worldly circumstances where I have to face it myself, where do I go? Do I escape? Do I run away? Or put blame on others? Or find the presence of Lord in me, the way the Lord would respond in this situation. I should be able to emulate that. Look at the world not as an individual, but from the standpoint of God. Then you will realize how humorous it is. We look at it from our very narrow individual standpoint, and therefore it is overwhelming to us. Me, I, mine, aham and mama. And therefore it is very big, very difficult for us to overcome. When you detach yourself and look at it, you will find that it is very easy to handle. Therefore, Arjuna I had to ask this question. What kind of faith I should have? Continuing, Gurudev has said, faith is believing in that which you do not see, resulting in seeing what you believed in. Science always says we believe in what we see. Philosophy say we see what we believe in. What comes first, seeing or believing? Faith is a journey from believing to living. Most religions just ask you to believe, but that's not transform into living. Therefore, believing will be living. I have been worshipping Hanumanji every Saturday, nothing happened. I want to change it to something else. Why? Because I believed in something, didn't work, move. The faith is, on the other hand, would not give up. I want to prove it to myself. This is true. Not on the blind following. So Gurudev said, you believe first and follow it through, and you will see what you believe. So, next. A statement of fact will be realized as true only when I have faith in the source of information, which I told you. All the scientific facts that we know today began with certain hypotheses, assumptions on the part of the scientists. For example, when with the bare eyes, with the naked eyes, when I look at this sky, how much I can see? How many stars I can see? How many planets I can see? Even if I'm looking at a planet, I do not know that it is a planet. And it is often said that the stars that you see right now have dead and gone long time back. Millions of years back, it's already over. The light is now you're seeing is not there actually right now. It's not there. So, but that was not the way earlier people have thought. Whatever we see is alone there. Beyond that, there is nothing. But what they did not stop there. How do I see beyond what the eyes can see? They started to experiment working on certain fine instruments. The telescope came into being. And then they started to look through this telescope. They realized there are so many things which are unknown became known. Unseen became seen. What is seen also became clear. So with what I can see with my bare eyes is only certain aspects of it. But with a given more sophisticated equipment, I can see much more than that. In the same way, what I know is based upon what is taught to me. But the Shastras are those which can give you a finer method of understanding, because of which you will be able to know things which are otherwise would remain unknown. Therefore, just like a scientist use the equipment called telescope as the means of knowledge, a person who wants to realize the highest truth uses Shastra as the means of knowledge. And that is what is known as Pramana. This means to prove is known as Pramana in Sanskrit, which means a proof, a testimony or evidence. Because even in today's world, when a person has to be judged whether he is a criminal or not based upon some observations and opinions, but they need evidence. What is evidence? What is a proof? In the same way, that when scientists would like to prove something, they need to prove it with evidence. Similarly, Shastra and Pramana, Shastra is the Pramana, the evidence for the existence of that which presently remains unknown. And if we reject the Pramana, Shastra as a Pramana, then we will not know what is to be known, and that what is to be known alone can truly bring a complete fulfillment of our life. Because known is constantly changing, and that which changes cannot give you complete joy. You know? Our Guruji used to say, Pinde pinde gadir binna. Every body has different life. Every body. Munde munde madir binna. Every mind thinks differently. Tunde tunde ruchir binna. Every tongue has got different tastes. That you understand? Every body has got different destiny. Every mind has got different way of thinking. Every tongue has got different tastes, and you would add Sunday, Ratir Binna. Every Sunday, different entertainments. Why do we go for different entertainments? Why do we need so many different tastes? Because we are bored with one, and we go to the other one, and go to the other one. So when we continuously change, why do we change? Because we are dissatisfied. So nothing really gives satisfaction, that which continuously changes. Even relationships, body, our health, the world, economy, politics, everything. So what is that which does not change and that alone can give me happiness, that which I can predict for sure? And that is unknown. And that can be known only through the Pramana. And therefore, Shastram Pramanam. Guru Vakyam Pramanam. Guru Upadesha Eva Pramanam. Unless we have Pramana Shraddha, truth of the unknown cannot be discovered. Even in the court of law, as I said, unless the proof is provided, the judgment cannot be finalized. See, for example, a little child is afraid of darkness, and there is a power failure, darkness everywhere. And the child starts to cry. If you go and tell him, don't cry, when the power comes, everything will be fine, the child continues to cry. Why? The child does not trust you. He doesn't believe in your words. But the same words will be uttered by the mother. Whereas the mother of the child comes and says the same thing, the child becomes quiet. Why? Statement of fact is the same. When the light comes, everything will be fine. But who says? This is why, when it comes to philosophy, most important thing is who is saying this? Who is teaching you? What is that which is the source? If you have a doubt in the source, as much as the scientist has a doubt in the telescope, he will not believe what the telescope is showing. Do you believe in your own eyes? You believe so much. Why? Because this is my eyes. Therefore, what I see is true. Don't you do that? I saw it in my own eyes. So, just because it's your eyes, you believe in. In the same way, one should own up the teachings as one's own. Until then, you will not move. Oh, that is opinion of somebody. Oh, that is opinion of this particular tradition. That is opinion of a guru. You still cannot move unless you own it. It is mine now. It is my knowledge. Many people read the books, Gita or Upanishad or many other things, but they just don't own it. They don't feel that the personal touch in that knowledge. They do not personalize it. We detachedly read Gita. We very detachedly worship God. Bhagavan, you be there wherever you are, I will be here where I am. When we personalize our God, that's why Ishta Devata. In Upasana, you need to have a personalized form of God. Then only the relationship is built. Why Meera and others have progressed so fast? Because they never thought Krishna is a form sitting there. No, it is my own beloved. How can I live even without one moment without him? Is it not that kind of intensity that has made that person progress fast? So too, knowledge should not be kept away. It should not be impersonal. When the knowledge becomes personal, when you own up that, you will see your progress very rapid. In all other aspects also, if you want to be healthy, and if your doctor is telling that you need to do this, you need to do that, and you consider it as opinion of the doctor, you will never do it. Or you go to a gym, or you go to a yoga teacher, and he or she says, do this, unless you own it, that what he says or what she says, you feel that it is necessary, you will not do it. Or even if you do it, first day resolution, the second day dissolution. Why? Because you didn't own it. Don't you say that, how many times I told you to your own son or daughter, how many times I have to tell you, you have to keep your room tidy and clean. Unless that child feels so, it will never happen. You have to keep on doing it. In the same way, why do the child believe that the mother says it is true and any stranger says it is not true? Because the relationship it is built with the mother. Right? Now, why this is important is that Arjuna's question is about this. Should I go to a Shastra to know the truth or follow the people I believe? Now, we'll start with that question. Before that, understand faith is a journey. That which worshipped in and adored as God in religion, truth in philosophy, both are timeless and changeless. They are one and the same, viewed from different standpoints. It is not that first the God and the God idea is created and then the philosophy is brought in. No. Philosophy came first and converted that into easily applicable way of living into a God and religion, etc. So that you start making it as part of your life. As Gurudev would say, science and technology. Science comes first and then it is converted into usable technology. You mean to say the phone that you have, cell phone, etc., you probably it came into market, say around in the year 90s. In the 90s, it probably might have come to for us to use. Do you think it was only at that time it was created? 20, 30, 40 years back, the technology, the science about it has already been there. Military was using it. But when it came to a people for common man to use, They have to step down. They have to bring it closer to you. Then it becomes a technology which is available for people, common man to use. In the same way, philosophy being abstract, the realization of the highest being the aim of the philosophy, and it cannot stand there and call the people to come towards it. Therefore, it came down to the level of the people and made sure people can personalize it. And therefore, the forms of God have been created to make the connection. For a devotee, faith in God is unarguably important because it is by the faith she is able to establish intimate relationship with that God. A form, a Krishna, a Rama, or Shiva, or a form, that is necessary for who said the God is human? That means dog does not have a God. Why do we always have human form of God? Because that is how we relate. You ask a dog to worship God. You say, why not he? Say, why is he human? Why is he not a dog? From the standpoint of an animal, how can it relate itself to human? That is why many people ask Swamiji, you have Shiva, and many of the women who come to this, why not we have Durga also there? Because I must identify I have identified myself as a woman. So the God that I worship also must have that same form. Then I can relate easily. I said, he is quiet, simply sitting. Don't worry about it. You can imagine Bhagavan, Durga sitting next to him, no problem. So, because otherwise you will have plenty of them, and the whole mall of gods will be there. Muruga will be there, what you call Ganesha will be there, then Venkatachalamurti, Balaji, Vishnu, Krishna, this, that, and Perumal, mall of all gods. That's what you see in many of the temples you go. I sponsor this god, that god. Ayyappa, then Sai Baba, another group. Lakshmi, another group. There also we become groupism. Jagannath is different from Krishna. Hare Baba, it's the same. No, Jagannath. Why? Because we are from Orissa. Orissa god. Balaji is different from Vishnu. You know that? Telugu god. Kahan se Telugu? God has become Telugu also. Udupi Krishna, not normal Krishna. Kannada god. I see how we are personalizing it. Nothing wrong. What I'm saying is, unless you personalize it, there cannot be relationship. That is why the philosophy came down to the level of human. Let's say science becomes technology for an individual to use it. Whereas a person who views reality as truth, that is nameless and formless, does not embark to have a relationship with it, yet in his pursuit, he will not even begin without having a firm conviction that truth and faith in the Pramana. For him, realizing the truth is the goal and not merely worshipping it. Not merely keeping it aside from him as a mere relationship. I must own it as me. That is where the philosophy proceeds on. It does not retain the reality as an external possibility. It is my own being for which I need to experience myself. So it's a journey. It starts from, first of all, that the belief and complete reverence and respect to the source, and thereafter proceeding one's journey towards that, to realize it as my own being. That is the reason why Gurudev often said, do not keep it as a possible ideal. If you keep it as an ideal outside only, you will remain idle. You must own it. You must discover it. You must realize it. Reach the destination and remain grateful. Next. Reach the destination and remain grateful to the source. So therefore, here Arjuna is asking a question. This is an introduction to his question. He says, if a person believes in the source, you said that a person believes in the source of knowledge, such a person is a man of faith. But if a person does not have access to that source, but follows those people who are following the source, or following or understanding the source, is it wrong? So now you see, let us first chant that verse. Arjuna uvacha ye shastra vidim utsrajya yajante shraddhayanvitaha tesham nishta tu ka Krishna sattvamaho rajastamaha. Arjuna uvacha ye shastra vidim utsrajya yajante shraddhayanvitaha tesham nishta tu ka Krishna sattvamaho rajastamaha. Ye, those people, shraddhayanvitaha, endowed with great faith, yajante, striving hard, but shastra vidim utsrujya, but not following shastra, not following the traditional source that is given to them. Tesham nishta, their abidance, following, faith. What is that? Ka nishta, hey Krishna. What kind of faith that is? Is it sattvic? Is it rajasic? It is tamasic. Now you see, this question came to Arjuna because last verse in the previous chapter was about follow the Shastra. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. To you, Shastra is the source for what? Karya Akarya Vyavasthitau. To know what is to be done and what should not be done. Jnatva Shastra Vidana Uktam. Having understood what is said in the Shastra, Karma Kartum Iha Arhasi. You are fit to do your action. That is how we concluded chapter 16. So the question was very straight, it appears. I don't have access to the Shastra. In today's world, we do not have the language in which it is written. We don't know that language, or Sanskrit, for example. Or even if we know the Sanskrit language as such, but the method of teaching that is given in Shastra is not very self-evident. You need somebody to interpret the way we should understand. Why do you think people like Adi Shankaracharya, who worked so hard to write commentary on the Shastra, and why did he do that? Because it's very easy to misunderstand. Therefore, he took pain to make sure that, no, don't misunderstand this way. This is how you should understand. A teacher must clarify, not just read from the book. Many professors will carry the same book for hundreds of 40 years, same notes. And they even stop and pass and cough at the same time. Because they have done it before so many times. A teacher must be having the ability to understand the pulse of the student and say that this you don't understand. This is how you should And this is where you may misunderstand also. Don't. And for that, one should have a overall view of the subject matter. Not only that. Not only what is applicable right now. No, I must have the total picture of the thing. Then from that overall picture, I can point out this is relevant to you. Don't worry about this. This is not relevant to you right now. When you come to grow further, you will see why the other one is important. So this Shastra, by directly, one does not have the access. Therefore, one follows the tradition as it is presented to him or her by the elders whom he feels respectful about. You go to a temple, and then the priest there says, okay, repeat this mantra, or even in marriages you might have seen. How many of us know the marriage, the Vidana, Vidhi? We don't know. That person who is a Shastri there, he says, okay, I'll tell you, chant this mantra. He chants. He doesn't even know the mantra meaning also. Why? Because I believe that this person may be doing the right thing. In the same way, a person who does not have the access to the Shastra, but is able to follow. So therefore, the next page, Arjuna is not implying that people, okay. What if one does not follow the guidance of the scriptures, does not engage in the discipline prescribed, rejects the norms followed by others? Go ahead, one by one. Fully adheres to what is instructed by those whom he respects, follows the guidance that appeals to his rational intellect. Will he belong to? So what it means, Arjuna is not implying that people following the faith do not believe in Shastra, but not having the access. However, these are those who have Vradya Bhavahara Darshanat. This is how Shankaracharya puts it. Vradya Vyavahara Darshana, meaning following the path of people whom he reveres as elder to him in knowledge. Vradya means old or elder. Vyavahara, conduct, behavior. Darshana, vision, path. Following the principle practiced by the elders or men of wisdom, those who engage, what is their condition? So whether they belong to, will he belong to Sattva category, Rajas or Tamas? Now, to next class, we'll see what it means to be having a Sattvic faith or Rajasic faith or a Tamasic faith. In a brief, I can tell you, let's see later on what it is. A Tamasic faith, or why is asking Arjuna this question? Because a Tamasic faith is where one does not ask question at all. Blindly do it. Because he needs immediate benefit. Even if it is short. I need it right now. Where Rajasic one will look at little more carefully. Will I get what I want with the help of this person or whatever I follow? How long it will remain with me? Will I individually become successful? Whereas Sattvic person is, will I grow? It may not be immediate, but would I grow or not? I may not get immediate answers or immediate results, but will I become better? So, in our life, when we follow something, we should not follow for immediate gains or only personal success, but one should look for growth, which will never be reverted. It will never fail. When we grow, we don't return to what we were before. That is what is growth. Physically we grow, we can never become young. But have we become mature so that we don't make the mistakes that we did yesterday or in the past? That is true growth. So that's why Arjuna asked this question. Following this tradition, given by others, even one does not have a Shastra as access, will such a person grow sattvically, rajasic, or tamasic? We'll see more of it in the next class. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkhabhat bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.